Well, I think we're all here. Is everybody that's getting here at least?
Groovy.
Linda, would you like to say some fabulous things about C3 since you're the president or something?
Oh, it's a fabulous night. I want to hear about all the tips and tricks you're going to teach us. Our aim is to enrich and inspire and educate creative humans to have creative lives. I think we're just fine. How's that? Take it away, George.
Very nice.
So I should be excited. We're back doing micro meetups, but that means we're not doing the big meetups because we were going to have a program this month, and it was all about being healthy and whole. And we said, hey, that sounds like a really bad time to get together and make each other sick. So we're back from the confines of our own houses. So we're going to take a look at some ways to make stuff with your phones and tablets. I think actually Robert Tolchin might have suggested this with some things you want to know about using phones and tablets and things. So it's something I was kind of kicking around. I will tell you guys one thing. So I'm going to be sharing like 4 different screens. I've got 3 cameras here. I'm going to be moving all over the place. So there's going to be a lot to see. Part of it is some of the things you can do with your mobile devices. You can't see them when I'm setting it up. So I'm gonna have to show you what the screen is doing while you're looking at the other screen. So there's a lot going on here. So stick with me. I've rehearsed all this, but there's a lot to it. So yeah, we did a whole bunch of these last year. There's probably at least 10 of them up on YouTube. I think if you go to chicagocreative.org, actually this event should have had a link to all the cool micro meetups we did before because we shot video of them. They're just kind of quick, fun little things there. She says it's cool. They're a little less involved than a program, but they're a little more interactive and fun and stuff to do. So if you don't know who I am, that's me. You guys can see my screen, right?
Now
Yes.
we're seeing you.
Excellent. So many screens coming.
So many.
Yeah, that's me. I go around the world doing cool things with projection and light and other fun things.
And you're a creative genius too, right?
I am.
Gotta
It's
remember
in
that.
my title.
Right.
So we're just going to jump into some things. The first one is, of course, some things we can do on Zoom itself. So we're going to start right with where we are here. I'm going to jump to my camera moves around. Hey, look at me. I'm gonna jump to this camera because the first thing I want to show you, you can't actually see what I'm doing until I've shared my screen. So we're gonna go over here. Look at this. Gets really meta for a second here, folks. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing what you're seeing right here. So hang on. Look, it's all you guys. But we hit that little share button right there. So let's see if I can see this now. Okay, yep. So I can't actually see the window that shows the window that I'm showing. So this is what you guys are used to seeing when you share your screen. There's also this one here that says iPad or iPhone. One thing about this that if you have an older version of Zoom, you might not see that option. Even if you have it, you may need to install, when you click on this, it might ask you to install something. So you may not be able to do this right away yourself when you go into a meeting. So if you're going to do things where you want to share your iPhone or your iPad, you might need to set this up before. It takes just a few minutes, but I'm showing you the screen because you normally can't see this. So I just click the share button. We're going to
You can hardly see it now.
Yeah, there it is. I think it updated since the last time I installed this. So you'll get that. Think. Okay, and then you get this. So this is, there's all you guys. So this deals with AirPlay.
We don't have that now.
If you have a, what now?
I don't have that now in the big screen.
You don't?
No, I
No.
just have it where your picture is.
Oh yeah, it should be in my picture. I'm not sharing anything yet.
Oh, it says you started screen sharing. That's why
I'm
asked.
attempting, but you can't see what I'm showing yet. So
Okay.
if you look at my little video, it says you have to connect. There's my Wi-Fi network, DarkNet. So screen mirroring is something you can do with AirPlay. I normally do it with like an Apple TV. You can show your iPad with it. So basically what you got to do is you have to go over to your thing over here. You can't see it yet, but I have to swipe down and tell it to go to screen mirroring. It's right there. And then I got to pick the one that it told me, which is, it says Zoom George. And I got to click the button. Sometimes it doesn't work right away also. So you may be looking at kind of nothing for a second. Now you should be seeing
There
a
it
big
says.
screen, right? It says test on it.
Yep.
All right, so this is my iPad screen, and I'm going to just draw some things right here while you're looking. And you should be able to see it showing up pretty much.
This is synced up somehow with your Zoom. Is that what you're telling me at this
Yeah,
point?
yeah. So the iPad is basically sharing its screen to my Zoom session. And so you can do this
Oh, that's so cool.
pretty much any time you're on Zoom. Here's a cool thing though. You'll notice what you guys are seeing is the full screen. I'm going to stop sharing for a second and show you my screen. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So what you'll notice is it's got all this interface stuff, which you don't see when I'm sharing it, which is really nice.
George, are you in an app on your little
Yes,
screen there?
and I'll tell you
what
about that in a
app is
moment.
it? Okay.
But you know, I've got like my colors and I've got layers. I can import and export things. I can change. So you guys don't see all this when I'm sharing my screen. And a lot of iPad apps that can do AirPlay they'll hide all the interface when you're working. So it's really kind of nice. This is an app called Concepts, and it's really cool. This is I'm going to switch back to sharing again so you can see it. Yep. So please hold. I got to do the little thing again because I turned it off. We'll go back to me for a moment. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're back to my screen now. So now, as you notice, you don't see all that stuff again. I'm actually picking a color right now, and you guys can't see it, but you can see it on here. So I can just go in and change my colors. Concepts there's a couple of these out there. They're called Infinite Whiteboard apps. So this is really great because I can just zoom out forever. I can move around. I have just all the space that I want. So I can draw in here and, you know, let's see, we'll draw Kathleen over here looking down at her thing with her headphones on. So you can do, you know, brainstorming, all kinds of interesting stuff like that. I use this actually sometimes professionally. I get like people pay me to draw during their corporate meetings. So there'll be, you know, 25 people in a room and they're listening to a speaker and I'm up on the screen just like sharing notes about whatever stuff it is that they did. I think I have a little, let's see here. Yeah, here we go. This is actually something I did for a corporate meeting. Like I drew these things. Oops, there we go. So these are all drawn live during
Nice.
someone else's meeting.
Yep.
So it's kind of a cool way to use it. I also use it for,
It's nice.
let me get over to the other window here. Hold on. Oh yeah, you can also use, I'm going to switch to another app here to show you. This is an app called Storyboard. It's kind of a great little tool here. Hold on. I think it's this one. There we go. So yeah, I can use, this is one of my storyboarding apps that I use. And it's just called Storyboard. And you can go in and, you know, this is, let's see here. Go to the next one.
Wow.
So I can sit here and, you know, share drawings of what I'm thinking of for concept stuff. It's a really great way if you're working in like a creative meeting with somebody to be able to share. Zoom's kind of great, but it really sucks for communicating like visual things. I mean, if you're on a video meeting, why are you talking about, you know, what you're looking at instead of just looking at it?
What
so
is that proportion for that?
Oh,
for the concept?
this is a ridiculously long building.
No kidding.
Yeah, there it is. Normally they're a little less weird than this. Yeah, here's like a regular storyboard for something else. So it's kind of a neat way to work with that. And apparently you could do this with your iPhone. It's probably just a little less convenient. but that's one of the cool things we can do. And that's just right inside of Zoom. And you can basically just turn that on and off like I'm going to do right now. Blink, and now it's off. So that's the first thing. While I'm setting up the next one, does anybody have a question of any kind? Anyone?
I have a question. Is that a special app that you used?
It's just an app that draws. It's made to present, so the way it hides all the interface like some of the other ones. It's just a
And
part of
what's the name of it?
Concept.
The first one's called Concepts.
Okay.
The second one is just called, I believe it's just called Storyboarder.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you something else here. We're going to get into, hey, fun computer stuff. So a couple things we can do. It says you can use it as a second display. You can use it like a tablet. You can use it inside of your computer apps like Photoshop, etc., just like you would a drawing tablet. The reason I like this is I've had those drawing tablets. It's the small ones are like $100 and you can draw on your computer, but you're still looking at something that doesn't have what you're drawing. The nice thing about the iPad is you can see what you're drawing on there. So I'm going to show you an app that is pretty neat just as soon as I get back to my other window here. Hold on.
Do you have the ability to use a pen with your iPad?
Yes,
Oh, that makes it easier.
it makes it much easier. So we're going to look at a thing called Duet Display. And let me start this on my computer here. So if you go to duetdisplay.com, you can see what they do. It basically turns your iPad into an additional screen for your computer. And it looks like you can also do it with an Android device. So you can use it on a Mac or a PC, and it basically just extends your desktop to another monitor. So I'm going to start this up over here. It'll take me a moment. There we go. You hear all those weird noises? That's part of it. So I'm going to show you. So Duet Display is kind of interesting. It's got an app on the iPad, and then it's got something you need to run on your computer that connects them together. So long as your iPad and your laptop are on the same network, they can connect to each other. And the reason I like this sort of thing, some of you know I spent part of this year in another country for 5 months. And so let me see if I'm sharing my screen. You probably can't see it. Hold on here. Oh yeah, I should go back to, hold on here. Duet Display, there's their website. So I spent some time in another country, and I spent a lot of it working. This was actually my office for about a month. You can see it's got electricity over here on the right, but it doesn't even have walls. And it's out in a valley in the mountains. Here's where my office actually was then.
Where was this, George?
This was in Taiwan. And everything had to go into this little bag. There's the dog that would hang out with me all day. So just to give you a sense of, like, I was in another country, everything I needed to work, I had to carry with me. This is what I would bring down to go work every day. And so there's my iPad, backup battery, my headphones, some snacks, etc. Once in a while, I have a weird lizard come sit on my desk while I'm working. Not a pet, that's just a random wild animal that was there. So this was a really handy thing because I could have an extra display with what I'm doing. Some of the stuff I do is like 3D, or even if you're just working on documents where you need more screen space. I'm going to switch to, no, stop sharing that for a moment. So I'm going to show you on my camera. Hey, you may get some views of my dirty studio also. So here we have, there we go. Here's Illustrator. And over here is my iPad. So I'm going to just go and I'm going to take this Illustrator window. Watch over here. Whee. Hold on one second. I'm just going to drag it over here. And I'm going to put it on my iPad. So I just use my mouse to just
that
bring
Duet Display.
Yep.
Huh.
So I just moved my display over here. The nice part is I can use it I can use the gesture controls to zoom in and out and move around like you normally would on an iPad. Obviously, some of the menu is a little small, as you can see, but the nice part is I can just grab my, oops, gotta get my pen here. That one. So I can just use this. I don't know if I have it set up right here, but I can also take and use the, it's set to do the pressure controls from the Apple Pencil that you normally would have. Oops, that's wrong. That's the one I want to change. Oop. Okay. So you can see I can get all the pressure controls that are normally on the iPad, and it does that with the Apple Pencil because I'm doing it here. So you can use that in Illustrator or Photoshop, or you can just, if I wanted to put my, hey, look at this. Here's the notes for my presentation that I'm doing right now. If you just want more screen space, if you're doing something and you want to pop your notes over there, and then your presentation's over here, and then your laptop's over here, you can do all that stuff. So it's kind of nice in that respect. Right now I'm running it wirelessly. So it's basically just going through the Wi-Fi network. When I was out in the mountains, and if I didn't have Wi-Fi, you can also just plug it in with the charging cable. And it does the same thing. So that's called Duet Display. I know there's others that do the same thing. I think there's one that's got squirrel or something in the name. It's another one that bounces your windows to your iPad and so on. We're going to go back to the screen again in a moment here. Any questions while we're, oops, setting up
What
stuff?
enabled you to use your stylus there, George, on your iPad with Illustrator? Because normally you have to use a mouse, but maybe your stylus is a Bluetooth?
That's just the Apple Pencil. That's just this little guy.
So it is a Bluetooth though, right?
Yeah, and this is for the iPad itself. So it's what that app does is it lets you use the tablet that you would use on your iPad, and it takes the pressure and sends it to your computer for programs like Illustrator and Photoshop and other stuff like that. So it's basically doing sort of it's taking I kind of like it because I don't have to carry another thing around. If I wanted to carry a drawing tablet, I have to plug that in, and it's more stuff to put in your little bag. The one thing I like about all this stuff is that it just makes, I like to create in ways that are easier. Like the more it feels like work, the less I'm going to want to do it. So if you can sit on the couch and like brainstorm and have a meeting, that feels better to me than like, I got to come in here in my office and set up all this stuff and plug in things. And, like two little things to do that is kind of nice. Any other questions? We're going to look at some phone stuff. So it's ways to share your video. It's ways to draw over your phone, draw over things on your phone. You can even use your phone to make make movies and interesting content, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you some cool things here. Let me see what I have next. Oh, okay. So I'm going to use there's a thing called it's called NDI. I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's basically a video sharing protocol. So I'm going to show you how that works. I use this also with other cameras. You can use NDI also to send video between programs. It's kind of a specific nerdy video thing, but it can be really useful for some kind of cool stuff here. Let me set something up in a moment, and I'm going to switch my camera to something else. So hold on a second. I told you there'd be a lot of switching, right? Video.
When you're saying NDI, is that just the letters?
Yes,
Oh,
NDI.
there it
Correct.
is. There it is.
I might have to turn something on and off again real quick here. So hold on a second, but it won't be anything crazy. So NDI is basically like It's a protocol that has like a sender and a receiver. Right now I'm setting up my phone to send video, and then, oops, hold on. So I have to set this up again. 1 second. It likes to fall asleep. So please hold. If you have any fun questions, feel free to ask them right now. Boop. Lots of clicking. Okay. So hang on here. This one's a little trickier than some of the others. So hold on a second. There we go. Okay. So I should be able to, oh yeah, there you go. So this, what you're seeing, this is, you can see my reflection in the monitor. This is my phone. So NDI lets you, and I'll show you a cool trick here. So this, what is this good for? Well, it's good for a lot of things. I'm going to put it down right here, and we're going to, by the way, I have a little tripod for this. You can see it in the mirror. It's kind of a nice little toy. So we can use this for, let's say I wanted to do a demo on drawing things. I would take this little camera here and hold on. I could have it over here and then switch to my other camera. If I wanted to sit here and draw some stuff. I know Cindy did she did a micro meetup on your glass beadwork things, remember?
Yes.
I know you shared your camera, but it also had all the stuff on the screen. This one kind of acts like a little broadcast camera. So you could have set this up here and just switch between your camera and the other one. Like if I go, hold on here, I can go right back to me again. Hello. And then I can just switch back to the other one. Might take a second. It likes to sort of break in between sometimes. So we'll have to turn it on and off again. The famous trick. So you can just use this to switch between cameras if you wanted to do that sort of stuff. It's kind of neat for things like that. You can't see me again. One thing I should show you here too is, hold on a second. So you can see the interface. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So it's got all these controls that you don't see on the final output, including, hold on a second. I gotta put this down. So you got this nice little zoom control here, right on the screen that does none of this stuff shows up. You can also like turn the audio off. You can turn your camera around. You can turn on the light if you want to. You know, like if I wanted to really light up what I'm doing, you can see I can turn the light on the camera. It's kind of a neat trick. So you can do all that stuff with your camera on the phone, and then you basically have another camera to play with. Yes.
Where does the NDI software live? Is it on your camera or your phone, or is it on your computer?
So this one is on both. There's a thing called Ndi Tools that's on your computer.
Yeah, I
And I
just
probably
looked
should-
it up.
Let me show you this screen. Hold on. It might get a little weird because you're going to see yourself.
Yeah, this looks really
Okay.
cool.
So basically NDI, can you guys see my desktop here?
Yes.
Yes.
So it comes with this little tool here that lets you choose which camera you're using once you have it set up. So I could have, something in my software that goes to that, or I could use the one on my camera. So the phone has an app called NDI HX. I think it's like $30. So this is not it's not a amateur tool, or at least it's not priced like one. So you could select your cameras here. You can also use NDI for things like live streaming software, or if you're going live on Facebook or stuff like that. So it's a way to have more cameras for what you're doing. I'm going to switch to another thing in a moment. Do we have any questions so far? Are you totally bewildered, excited, confused? Any of those things?
No, excited. I just looked it up. I'm
Excellent.
gonna download it, the app.
Excellent. I'm going to switch to another thing here. This one involves photos, so I'm going to pick one that's not anything weird. Hopefully. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of a simple a simple little tool that we use, that I use a lot with when I'm doing like site visits and stuff. People, I think, don't think about things like this. Oh, here's a fun picture. Here we go. This is a horrible chair that I found. So I'm going to show you. Hold on here. Gets exciting. Wait for it. 1 second. I got to pop this thing on my camera. Oops. Hold on.
Dizzy now.
I know it's going to get dizzier. Don't get it. Be excited. Hold on. There we go. All righty, look at that. So I'm going to show you my phone, super low tech version. So this is a horrible picture of a chair that's made out of pants. But I don't know if people know about this cool thing you can do. I do this on my phone all the time. So I know this is on the iPhone. You can edit your photos, and there's usually something way over here. There we go. On Android, it's called markup, but on the iPhone, it'll have like 3 little dots. So you can draw over your photographs. I do this a lot when I'm doing like, you have to show a product or a place and you want to put notes on it for people. So I'm going to take this little pen here, and you can just go and like draw stuff right on your pictures. You can usually, you can zoom into things if you need to make like details of stuff. So I've done this on the iPad and on iPhones. It's kind of nice, like if you need to measure things or you're trying to, a lot of times I'll go to a space, I need to know how big it is when I get home because I do live events. So I'll go in with a measure and I'll say, all right, this one is, this is 20 feet or 2 feet or whatever it is. So you can just go and write right on your photographs.
That's cool.
And then usually it'll ask you to save a copy so you don't mess it up. So you still have, should still have the original. Where'd it go? Hold on. I lost it. Welcome to Adventures in Losing Things also. Oh yeah, I don't know where it went, but I saved, it saved to a different folder, but usually it'll save a copy of what you did so that you're not, hey, it's Mika. So you're not drawing right over your photograph, which is a nice little feature for that. Let me get my mice ball back together here. Hold on. Told you there's a lot of mousing. So you can do that. I should show you this too. This is a way to animate on your phone. I have an app. Here we go. I got to turn my little thing back down again. Hold on. Whee! 1 second. I'll be right back. So this is an app on Android. It's called Stop Motion Studio, but they also have, I've got a couple of other apps in iOS land that are also kind of cool. I know there's one, let me see what it's called here. I think there's one just called like Stop Motion Animator. I'll have to look up the exact name while I'm adjusting this, but you'll see it in a moment. Yep, so back to the ground. So this one, let me take this out of my cool case here. Okay, so we're back to the phone. Whoops, I keep forgetting it turns the other way. Hold on. Okay, so Stop Motion Studio basically has a button that starts a new project.
Yes. We don't see that.
Hold on 1 second. I have to get back to the thing.
Yep.
Blink. As I mentioned, there's a lot of cameras here. Okay, here we go. So it basically starts you with just here's the view of the camera. So if I hit this little plus button, hold on a second. Not that one, the little camera. Okay, there we go. So this essentially is a stop motion app on your phone. So we did some stop motion about 1 million years ago with C3. I'll show you with a little piece of a little heart right here. There we go. So you hit the little camera, makes a little noise for you. Oops, hold on 1 second. we're lost. One moment. Okay. There we go. Gotcha. It was, I had my volume down so I can hear the noise. So there's a little heart. We'll move it over this way. I'm basically just taking a little snapshot of this and moving it every time. There may be a couple weird pictures in here because I was doing it wrong a minute ago. But we should have, let's see here, hold on. Sorry, folks, it's getting a little crazy here. There we go. One second. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can see I took a little picture in a different spot each time. Kind of you may not have use for this, but it's kind of a fun way to make things. And I can export this to a little movie. Obviously, if you have this cool tripod like I have, you can set it up so it doesn't move around in between. So this is kind of a cool way you can make actual animated videos on your phone. Let me start another one just to show you if that was confusing.
Hey, George, can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
So can you GIF that too, or does it have to be a video?
Let me see. I believe there's an export here. One second. It's like this. Share. Yep. So you can do, I just picked the share. So you can choose animated GIF, images, flipbook, which I think is something else. And you can also export a little movie. So you could do
Awesome.
cool things with that if you want to animate jelly beans or something.
Yeah, thanks.
And there's a bunch of these. This one I just picked because it works on Android. Sometimes they have, I know the, put my picture back up. There I am. If you've ever had one of those little selfie sticks, also, they usually come with a little Bluetooth remote. Usually those will trigger the camera in one of these too. So if you want to play around with animation on your phone, you could set it up and just hit a little beeper so the camera doesn't move.
Yeah, George, I did find it on an iOS. It's called Stop Motion Factory.
There you go. There's a whole bunch of them that do kind of the same thing.
Okay.
I'm going to share my iPad screen in a moment here. So I want to show you some things you can do on your tablet. So some of them are kind of related to what we just looked at. So hang on one second here. We're going to look at, if you have an awesome question, now is a good time to ask it. I'm going to show you a kind of cool video editing app on the iPad. And it kind of gives a lot of almost like professional, oops, where'd my thing go? There it is. Almost professional set of tools for editing video on an iPad. It's kind of a neat thing to use. So I'm going to show you the iPad screen again, hopefully. There we go. So this is an app called Pinnacle Pro. And you can see my screen here. I think I made this project to show you guys. Let me see. Yep. Yeah. So this can take all sorts of things that are on your iPad to make movies with. You've got kind of like a real timeline here, something you don't normally have on things like iMovie. It's a little more like you got video. You can do titles here. I can put in pictures or movies. I got soundtracks, so you can record your own audio in here, which is kind of neat. So just to show you, these are all photos that are in my photo section. Luckily, I don't keep anything weird, so don't be worried. So pretty much whatever you have in here, you can put in, and you can, let me just move some of these around so you can see it. Oops. This one is there. So I have here, I've got a picture that I brought in, and then here I have, let's see. Yeah, this is a video that I shot. You can hear all the wonderful background noise too. So I can just basically pick these different categories. Anything I have on here, I can put in. There should be some audio, I think, that I recorded. Let's see here. I go to the beginning. There we go. So there's a little recording button, this little microphone you see on the right side right there. You can see the levels going. So I could, put a video up and talk over it if you guys are interested in, doing little video blogs of yourself, or maybe you want to, shoot something and make a little story about it. It's kind of a neat way to do this. This one is, let's see here. So there's little sound effects that it comes with. So here's some effects. So there's, just basic stuff, but you can also bring in any music. The new iPads have your music is not actually on it. It's kind of weird, but normally if you have music on your iPad, you could bring it in as background for these. So I have the little boingy noise here that I could grab, and let's see, I can move it around if I want it to go over here. So you could sync it up to, whatever part of this you wanted. If I wanted it to happen as soon as we switch to the movie, then it'll go. So you can kind of just do like regular video editing in here. It's actually a pretty nice little setup. And then this one, I believe we can do, you can share the movie to YouTube or your photo album, or you can send it to your Dropbox or any of those other places. So you can basically just edit a video and kind of put it together however you want. This is also really good for, if you shoot a video and you've got a bunch of junk at the beginning of it, or, you got takes you want to take out, or, replace somebody talking with, I could put this picture right in the middle of this video if this section was like not what I wanted. So I just dragged it over there, and now we have that in the middle. If that was video of somebody talking, and then maybe you wanted to cut away to a picture of what they're talking about. So you could actually do some really interesting video edits with this. This one is also, I think, like $10 or something, but it does a lot more than you'd expect. So it's kind of a neat little portable studio. Yes.
George, is that how you get rid of the obscenities in our C3 videos before you post them?
Usually I put in more obscenities, but those there's actually a YouTube video editor.
Oh, okay.
So I can like trim out the beginning and the end of the Zoom call when it started recording, but we haven't really started yet. Yeah. But you could do the same thing here, just cut off the, if I wanted to take this and just drag the end. Oops, hold on here. So I just go like that, and it just chops that part off.
Cool. Okay.
So, and then you can slide it around. It's a little weird that it doesn't let you put it over here, because then there'd be a big space. But, as long as you put something in there, you can move your videos around kind of however you want. So that's one kind of neat tool called Pinnacle Studio. There's a pro version, and then there's a regular version. I think the regular one is like $2. The pro one, I think, adds in splitting up your audio and video tracks and all kinds of interesting things like that. I'm going to show you another app here that's kind of neat.
Hey, George.
Yes.
You happen to know if that offers a vertical ratio as opposed to the?
Oh, you mean like this way?
Yeah, like an Instagram ratio.
I think I think I've edited things for this. Let me see my project setting. Current frame rate. I might have to go. Let me see what I'm going to make a new one and see what it gives me for choices. I think it probably does. I just don't know where it's at right this moment. But I think you could probably set it up to be whatever size you'd like. I'll have to check on that.
Yeah, that's okay. I know that a lot of people use iMovie for that purpose. Yeah. But they actually flip they turn the movie 90
Oh,
degrees.
yeah, the other way. Yeah.
Ah,
Excellent. I'm going to show you another app here. This is an animation app. This one is, well, there we go. I believe it's called Animation Creator HD. So this is kind of a specialized app. There's other apps for animation, like hand-drawn things that are a little simpler, but they also don't do as much. So if you like making things, this is kind of interesting. I'm just going to pick a small HD size, and then we're going to edit this. So you'll see, hold on here, this little arrow on the bottom. Open, hold on a second. Make sure you can see everything. This little arrow on the bottom makes the menu pop up. So you have, it's kind of like that other app, except you can draw things. So I'm going to just put a little circle right here, a frame, and you should see a little ghosted version of the last one. So it's showing me where my last drawing was. So I just draw things and hit that little plus again. Oops. Oop. We're getting all crazy here. I'm going to play this back and it's going to look really horrible for a second. So hold on. There we go. I got to slow this down a little.
wow.
You could do this to, animate all sorts of things. If you wanted to animate, I don't know how a website works or something, you could do, you could do it as more of a diagram thing if you wanted. You've also got, you've got layers you can work with. You can put in music, you can change colors and drawing tools and things like that. And you should be able to, ton of things on the bottom of this you can see. I can go in here and move these frames around if I want to. Makes it look kind of weird now, but you can rearrange these things. So you can kind of play around if this is something you're interested in. It's kind of neat. You can duplicate frames with this little duplicate button that you can't see because I'm not pointing on the screen. And then you should be able to just export these to export video, export GIF, etc. So you can do cool things with this too if you wanted to. And I think you could even put in like photographs of things as a background in here if you wanted to. Oh yeah, backdrop. So you could pick a photo if you wanted to draw over something for every frame. You could do stuff like that too. It's kind of neat. Let me see what I'm doing next year because I have a lot of stuff.
Is this still in Pinnacle?
This one is in Animation Creator HD. It's a different program.
All right, cool. Thanks.
And then I have the most important thing I was going to show you. Hang on here, kids. We're going to switch to, oops, I got to make sure it works first. Hold on. So there's new versions of Photoshop and Illustrator for the iPad. So I want to show you some of those because it's kind of neat the way it works. Let me find it. There we go. Okay. I've been having some weird issues with mine not starting right, so I didn't want to show it to you while it was falling apart. One of the neat things about this is if you have the Creative Cloud, you have access to these already as part of your subscription. So there's nothing additional to pay for. And if you use their cloud storage, anything you do on here will show up on your computer right afterwards. So if you wanted to like start on a layout, just sort of messing around while you're out and then go home and it's the same thing is right there. So I'm going to share my screen again. And hold on. Oops, hold on. It was there. I swear it was. All right, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Illustrator on the iPad. And so it's got most of the things you're used to. There's some things that obviously, there's no keyboard shortcuts. But you can go in here and, oops, that one's not quite what I wanted. Hold on. I need to make the brush slightly larger. There we go. So you can go in and draw. You can use the pen tool the way you're used to. There's some little weird things with the here we go. So I just made a shape. Some of the things are a little stranger than you're used to. One thing that's kind of interesting to me is if you want to scale something, you can't hold a key to make this stay the right proportion. There's if you see this there's a little circle down here on the lower left side. See how I just made that? Basically, I put my finger in the middle and I pull it out. That turns on locking the proportions.
Ooh.
So it's a little different, and you really need to read the manual on some of these if you're going to use them. So now I think I can hold this and make it, yeah, so it'll lock the degree rotation if I do the same thing. And then you can just do stuff like, make a copy of it with these little, you can see these little buttons here. So I can make a copy of it. I can go over here and I can copy or paste it if I want to. Now I get another one. So you have a lot of the same controls. You've got one thing I noticed you can't do is you can't name the layers. I don't know why, but
Really?
yeah, it just doesn't give you anything. Oh, hold on. It didn't work last time. I totally lied. I think the problem is it doesn't. Yeah, hold on. It's a little.
What did you just do to get that?
I believe I double clicked the. Yeah, I know the problem is it's really hard to get the keyboard in here.
Oh,
there we go.
pop up. There you go.
Yeah, I was doing this last week and it was not working on me. So George is dumb. So there we go. So you can do a lot of things. You've got, array tools and the Pathfinder and things like that show up in here. So you can mess around with that. And then if you go, let's see if this saves right. Should be, hold on here, your files. There we go. So Untitled 1 is right there. And let me see if it went to my actual Illustrator, which I conveniently had open already. So I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. And let's see if it actually went to my real account here, which seems to have crashed since I started this. Hold on. So yeah, there's a version, there's a number of different versions of Photoshop. But the Illustrator one I think is pretty close, and it's interesting how easily it works between the two, and it's actually a pretty nice little app for doing if you want to work on something while you're before you get there. If you're out and you want to work on something before you get home, kind of thing. Let me see. Close this one. Cloud documents. My work. Where'd it go? It's supposed to be there, but maybe it isn't. We'll see. Everything works until you're trying to show people, and then it doesn't work. So I tried this many times this week. Oh, there we go. Did it go? Did it show up? That's weird. I'm going to rename this on here and see what it says. Sometimes it takes a minute to get over there, but usually it goes right into your account, and then you can just open it up and keep working on it. So it puts it into a sort of a weird little format. So you have to resave it to get normal Illustrator file, but it's pretty much the same thing. What I think one difference it does is that sometimes it might take some of your brush lines and turn them into something else, but normally it's the same stuff. I think that might have been all of the official things we had in this. So I'm gonna go back to the normal screen and see if people have any crazy questions about things we can do. Is that too nuts for everyone? Questions, ideas?
Crazy.
Oh, it's a lot of fun stuff.
And I looked
like-
some of it out.
I like the
Well, the-
NX thing.
That
be able
thing's
to
pretty
use that.
neat, yeah.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I could see
Okay.
using.
Do you know the generation of your iPad by any chance?
I think this is maybe a year old. This is an iPad mini from like at least I think maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
So most of these things run pretty well for me on that.
Hey, George,
Yes.
what kind of memory are we talking for all of these things? Are we talking like, is your iPad maxed out on memory?
No, it's none of the iPad stuff is really not anything really intensive for it. Even the the animation or video things, it does that pretty well. The rest of it, like the screen sharing, is just that's just your network
Okay,
basically. And the NDI HX may have a little bit to do with how strong your graphics card is, but it should work pretty okay. It's basically just sending video over the network that you're on. So that's kind of a cool trick. And that also is nice because those tools basically let your computer just see it as another camera. So you can use it in like Facebook streaming, or if you want to do like something more more set up, like a streaming app like Restream or something like, or Twitch or something like that.
okay.
Any other questions? Anyone? Oh.
For me, it would be like experimenting with all of what you just showed us.
I should put I'll put some of these in the chat just so we all know what they are.
Yes.
I think that stop animator photo app or phone app is ready to rock right away.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, I feel like you maybe need like they sell some pretty cheap like phone tripods. So I mean, you just need like something to keep it in place, because otherwise every time you hit that little button, it's gonna wiggle around, and you're just gonna get a video of wiggling. I'm putting some of these in here. Those are some of the things. Pinnacle Pro is one of them. So that was the little video editing. Concepts was the iPad app, iPad Infinite Whiteboard thing.
George, when
Yes.
you publish, I mean, this is the recording will be available to us. Is that part of it?
Yeah, it should go automatically on our YouTube channel, which
Okay, right. And then like, can you include, or is there some way to get like a little list of the available or the required equipment and software that you mentioned, or?
I put some of it in the Zoom chat right now.
Sweet, thank you.
Let's see. Yeah, NDI.
Marilyn, you know how to save the chat for yourself?
You're muted.
Marilyn, you're muted, but
She's cursing
Yes,
the
I
whole
think
time.
so. I'm looking at that right now. Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
there's a file
no.
button.
Save chat, there it is.
little,
Okay.
Yep.
3 little dots at the bottom of the chat, but you have to do it at the end to get it all.
Okay, thank you.
Or you just have to do it again.
Yes,
Or,
again.
again, right.
Or
There-
do a
oh, perfect. Yeah,
screenshot
that's
like
really
I heard
helpful.
somebody do.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Thank
here's in case anybody's curious also, this is my phone tripod, which is kind of neat. It lets you spin your phone around. There's basically like a knob to set which direction, and this one tightens the phone. I have it on one of these crazy Gorilla Pod things that are designed to like wrap around anything. So you could stick it around your hand if you wanted to, or hang it upside down or whatever. And I think I can also just like, I believe I can just take this. Yeah, here we go. It also, this is the actual stand. So you could also just put it on something and put your phone in there, either way you wanted to shoot it. So some of those are kind of neat. I think this was like $10 or something. And I actually have it like the actual thing is this, and then I had this tripod which it just connects to. If you like playing around with mobile thing, it's one thing I think that makes like videos so much better is just your camera not going anywhere. I shot a lot of video when I was traveling, and it just makes it so much better.
George,
Yes.
isn't there a way also to trip the camera button without touching the camera, like either a remote thing or
Yeah,
a
what I
wired
used
thing?
is actually this little, when I bought this little stand, it came with a Bluetooth like a selfie remote. And so sometimes you need a little app to use it. I think it came with like go here and load a little thing so that your phone can use it. But then you can just basically hit the button, and usually your camera knows to take a picture.
Yeah,
when you
so
do
you
that.
don't risk shimmying the camera when you hit the button on the actual thing.
Yeah, and that's good for the animation thing, but it's also good like you're shooting, or if you're live streaming or whatever. Everybody always starts their video like this. Like, all right, let me hit the button on my phone over here, and then it's like going all over, and then you just go, and it starts, and you look more professional than I was this last hour showing you how all this works. But that's the ugly version because I need to show you how all the parts work.
It's called the behind the scenes. Okay?
Way behind the scenes. Too many of the scenes. So yeah, there you go. Questions, crazy things, stuff you want to know about for future micro meetups. Let us know. We love to hear it.
Or they can volunteer.
Yeah, who wants to do the next one? Since humanity's not as smart as we thought we were, apparently, or at least not all of us. We need more micro meetups.
Yes. Someone knows something about something.
Somebody knows something more about something than they did an hour ago, at least.
Yeah.
So that could be, you could be sharing your brains with the rest of us. If you want to do something about, I don't know, stippling buildings or something. Laura is muted and she's trying to say things.
No, she's not muted. She's just pretending.
I've never heard her this quiet. That's probably why it is.
George, can I say something personal?
Oh my. This is being recorded. This is being recorded for our own
Wow,
protection.
Laura.
It's okay. It's okay. Everyone can hear it. I was recently out at my sister's house out in the Pacific Northwest, and I don't know if you remember this, but she took a bunch of her friends to the thing that you projected in.
In Seattle, yeah.
In Seattle. And she was just short, like they were just short of meeting you because you had gone to eat. I told her where you were and everything like that. And I'm just gonna say they still talk about that.
That's awesome.
But in good terms though. Okay. So no, they were very impressed by your stuff out there.
Well, thank you.
And I'm passing along another accolade too.
That was like 3 years ago. So thank you.
His head is about to explode.
Not yet.
George, what's your next big project?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay.
No, right? I have been playing with I'll give you a sneak peek here if I can. Hold on. You may see this in the C3 art show, but who knows? I'm playing with origami. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's one piece of paper.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is that with your cutting machine?
Why, yes, it is.
Oh.
One of those crickets?
Yeah, one of the former micro meetups.
Yes. Go watch it on YouTube.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing magical things here.
Very cool.
Well, we can sit here and stare at each other awkwardly for a few minutes if you don't like.
Oh, Steve, you're muted.
We're all muted.
I know what you could do, Laura Marie. You could show how you make your cutting board.
Oh,
I
yes.
know.
Ah,
Oh, but we can't feel it. I mean, some of us. We got
Now
to
we're
feel
getting-
it this morning.
Now we're getting personal, Carolyn.
Hello,
I gotta
Carolyn.
stop the recording.
my
How's this
cutting
work?
board. Feel my cutting board.
Yeah, do you have it with you? Show everybody.
Oh, it was really wonderful.
I don't have it here with me. I just have Henry, but
Oh,
Oh,
That's not a
and
cutting board.
TP, turn. Let's show.
he wanted me to pick him up, but it's not handy. I'll next time.
Okay.
Well, just
That's a
you're just gonna
promise.
do a micro meetup on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Only cut 10 weeks, right? Now we're waiting for the glue to dry.
Let's go eat. Where's the
That's why you do like those cooking shows where they put it in the oven and then they take one out that's done already.
In the miracle
yeah,
of television.
Yeah. That old trick.
Yeah.
Prepped ahead of time.
Otherwise, it's 20 minutes you going.
Yep.
Well, there you go, George. Now we want to have one of these video things that also has other, that you can smell us on or something.
Not here.
Television.
Maybe if people were getting out more.
Yeah. So, no, but thanks. There was cool stuff you showed us.
Thanks
Very
a lot.
fine.
Yes,
It's interesting.
agreed.
Awesome. Well, there you go.
Yes, thank you.
See you next time.
Cool, guys.
Yeah, since we have more time to play with these things.
Send me an email if you